AirPods Pro 2, or is it AirPods second generation? What is the official name of these things? Welcome back, I'm Dave from Chase the Summit, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new AirPods Pro 2. I think they're actually called AirPods Pro second generation, but it's a lot easier for me to say AirPods Pro 2, so we're gonna go with that. In this video today, I'm gonna go through some of the new and exciting features on the AirPods Pro 2 and share my thoughts on these things as a runner, as a fitness enthusiast, and somebody who works out and gets sweaty and things like that. How do the AirPods Pro 2 perform in that kind of environment? And as I go through this, I'm also going to be making some comparisons to the Beats Fit Pro, which are one of my favorite earbuds right now in terms of running, because they're very secure and they sound great. All right, before we dive into what makes these AirPod Pro 2 special, I just want to talk about my history with earbuds because it goes back quite a bit. First of all, I've got a lot of pairs of earbuds, including all the ones you see here. I've got the Beats Fit Pros, the Anchor, I think these, the Soundcore, what are these? The Soundcore Liberty 3 Pros, the Jaybird Vista 2s, the Sony LinkBuds, and many more. In fact, I've got a whole box of these things from the past couple of years of running and collecting them. Yes, I have a lot. Before we get into the earbuds themselves, I want to do a quick unboxing, not really, but just show you the contents of the box. I'll quickly go through this. So this is what it looks like. There's the cover, gone. There's the paperwork we don't care about, the internal packaging, the lightning cable to Type-C cable. And finally, we have the last piece of the puzzle here. That is the additional tips for the AirPod Pro 2s. And you may think, why are these special? Well, because from what I've heard on the AirPod Pro 1s, they only came with 3 tips, 3 different sizes when it came to the silicone part of the earbud, while on the AirPod Pro 2s, there's an additional size in here, which is beneficial if you have extra small ears. Okay, now that we've got the boring stuff aside, I'll put the ear tips away now. Now let's take a look at the hardware. We've got the case to the AirPod Pro 2s here, and you can see it's a little bit different from the older design. So first of all, there's a single LED around the front here. Around the side here, there's actually a lanyard loop, so you can loop a lanyard through that so you don't drop your case. And we do have a pairing button. We'll talk about that in a minute. And around the front, there is a little lip where you can grab it with your thumb. Around the bottom here, we do have a couple of holes, which we'll talk about in a minute, and the lightning charging port, which is kind of a bummer in my opinion. I wish everything was USB Type-C, which is kind of funny because the Beats Fit Pros, which are actually owned by Apple, I believe, have a Type-C connection, where the AirPod Pro 2s have a lightning connection. I don't really understand that. I think they're trying to keep lightning alive for some reason, but I really wish they'd just do everything in Type-C. That would be great. There's a few new things about this case as opposed to the original AirPod Pro 1s. First of all, those little holes I mentioned before are actually a speaker on the bottom of the case. Why do you need a speaker on the bottom of your case? Well, if you lose these, you can actually use the Find My app on your phone to trigger a chirping sound on the case, so you can actually find the case. If you've dropped it in the dirt while you were hiking or something, or even dropped it in the couch or next to your bed, it's actually pretty loud and pretty noticeable. Another nice feature about the AirPod Pro 2s is that the case itself has an IPX4 water resistance, which is great because that means you can throw it in your sweaty pocket or be out in a light mist or in a humid environment and not have to worry about the case getting damaged. The earbuds are also IPX4 rated, but now the case is too. Why is this important? Because a lot of the competition with these other earbud manufacturers, nobody puts a rating on the case itself. There's a few that do, but like the Beats Fit Pro, for instance, there's no rating on this case, so if you get it really wet, you're at risk of damaging it. The case on the AirPod Pro 2s is also compatible with MagSafe charging, so you can plop this down on any Qi-enabled wireless charger or on your MagSafe charger from your iPhone and charge the case, which is very nice. I know what you're thinking. Let's talk about the earbuds and the sound quality. We'll get there. I just want to briefly talk about the build quality of this case because it's kind of a pet peeve of mine. If we go to like the Beats Fit Pros, I'll pick on these again. The case just doesn't have a lot of confidence to it. The lid feels a little loose and it's almost a little creaky and crackly. I love these earbuds and they haven't broken and they seem pretty durable, but the case itself just doesn't feel all that high quality. Like, can you hear that? When it comes to the AirPod Pro 2s, this case feels real high quality. Like there's no wiggly parts on here. Everything feels really tight and high tolerance. The gaps are really tightly put together. And for a quick size comparison of the case themselves, you can see that the Apple AirPod Pro 2s are actually on the smaller side. So there's the Pro 2s on the right here, the Beats Fit Pros next to those, the Beats Studio Buds here, the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pros, the Sony LinkBuds, and then we've got the Jaybird Vista 2s here. Finally, the moment you've been waiting for, let's take a look inside the case. Here are the AirPod Pro 2s, and you can see what they look like there. They are a white stem AirPod looking design. They've looked the same forever. And I'll be honest, I don't love the look of AirPods. I just don't love that they're all white and they've got the stem, and when I wear them, they kind of just droop out of my ear like that, and they're very noticeable because they're white. That's just me being vain. But again, the feeling and durability of these earbuds feel really high quality compared to the other options out there. Just like the original AirPod Pros, the AirPod Pro 2s are able to detect whether or not they're in your ear to be able to play and pause your music automatically. One is an optical sensor it's like a camera to detect whether or not they're in there, and the second sensor is actually a skin sensor that can feel the skin inside your ear. That sounds kind of gross. In terms of setup and pairing and compatibility, they're Apple devices, so they just work. As you can see here, I've got my Apple iPhone 14 Pro, and when I open up the lid on my AirPods, what happens? They just work, which is the great thing about Apple products. They just integrate together. You don't have to pair things. You don't have to punch in a code or do anything. Just open the lid, put them in the ears, and you're ready to go. In terms of compatibility though, the Apple AirPod Pro 2s are not just compatible with Apple devices. You can pair these with your Windows laptop or with an Android phone. However, if you are an Android user, you'll be limited to the basics with these. You won't be able to use all the features. If you are an iPhone user or an iOS user, you'll be able to see a bunch of options about the AirPod Pro 2s after you set them up with your phone. So up top here, you can see the battery level of the earbuds themselves, the battery level of my case, the name of the AirPod Pros, and then you've got controls for noise cancellation and transparency mode, which you can manually trigger here. Down the bottom here, you can customize the controls on the AirPods themselves. We've got the ear tip fit test, say that 3 times fast. That'll determine how good of a seal you have with the tips that you've chosen from the setup process. Down the bottom here, there's an option to toggle on and off the sounds that come from the case itself. These are sounds like when you plop it on a wireless charger, it makes a little ding to let you know that it's charging, or when you open the case, it makes a little pairing sound. If you don't want to hear that, you can turn those sounds off. All right, let's get into the good stuff, the fit of the Apple AirPod Pro 2s. As a runner, the fit might be the most important thing to me when I'm shopping for earbuds. If I don't have a good seal when I'm going on my run, they pop out of my ears and that drives me bananas. The AirPod Pro 2s have a surprisingly good fit. I was not expecting this, and when I seat them in my ear, they are quite secure for what they are. They don't have an ear hook or anything like that, and when I shake my head around, if I try really hard, I can shake them out. If I really try hard, I can shake them out. However, when I go for a run, I've been out on trail runs and road runs while wearing these things, I have not had an issue with these falling out. If I compare the fit of the AirPod Pro 2s to the Beats Fit Pros I have here, just by looks, you can tell that the Beats Fit Pros have a really good secure fit in my ear, because they're not only in my ear canal, but they also hook into the top part of my ear, which is very important for a secure fit. The AirPod Pro 2s don't have that, so there's no way for them to really hook in there, and I can take these in and out quite easily. However, having that really good secure fit on the Beats Fit Pros does come with some sacrifices. If you're using these for more casual use, you're at work for an 8-hour day and you've got the Beats Fit Pros in your ears, they actually become pretty fatiguing because that little rubber hook is kind of wearing away at your ear, and they can actually hurt after a while, where the AirPod Pro 2s don't do that. These feel really good. I can wear these for hours on end and I have zero issues wearing these. The next thing I want to talk about the AirPod Pro 2s are the touch controls. The AirPod Pro 2s have really nice touch controls that took me a little bit of getting used to. There's a little bar on the right hand side here that has a little indent where you can put your finger. If you squeeze that, that will play or pause your music, and if you double squeeze it, it will skip forward or backward your tracks when you're trying to go through your music. This took some getting used to. As I was running, I was kind of moving around. It's hard to position your finger and feel the little notch where you're supposed to squeeze, but after a few runs, I got used to it and it became kind of second nature. Another new feature to the AirPod Pro 2s is that same little area where you squeeze to play and pause your music is now a force touch area where you can actually swipe up and down to control the volume of your music. So if you want to turn your music up, you simply put your finger in here and swipe up. If you want to go down, you swipe down, and it works pretty effectively. I can do this pretty easily even when running. Now let's talk about sound quality for a second. Well, they sound really good. The Apple AirPod Pro 2s have the new H2 chip inside, which I'm not sure what that does for sound quality, but these sound really nice. The AirPod Pro 2s have a really nice balanced sound. It's not overly bassy or too bright. It's kind of somewhere in the middle, and I think it works with just about any genre genre, from, a bass heavy hip hop to rock music to podcasts. I really haven't found a situation where it sounded bad. Another really cool feature about the AirPod Pro 2s that's also available on the Beats Fit Pros and the original AirPod Pros is spatial audio. So you can actually turn on spatial audio, and when you turn your head around your phone or your laptop or your iPad or whatever, the sound will move with your head as if you're watching a movie and it was in front of you, and it's moving around and the sound's all around you, and it's kind of crazy. However, a new feature on the AirPod Pro 2s is personalized and customized spatial audio, which is kind of a trip. So basically, in the AirPod Pro settings on your iPhone or iPad or whatever, you can go in and turn on personalized spatial audio. When you turn on personalized spatial audio, it'll ask you to hold your phone's camera up to your ear. That's right, you basically scan your head with your iPhone or iPad's depth camera, and it will actually customize the EQ of your AirPod Pros to the shape of your head and your ear canal. Now, in terms of how this works and how effective this personalized spatial audio thing is, maybe I'm not enough of an audiophile to notice, but I didn't really notice a huge difference between the standard spatial audio and my personalized spatial audio. Maybe I did it wrong, I don't know, but the user experience when you scan your head is kind of cool. I just don't know how effective it is, and maybe your mileage will vary. And if you're wondering what the audio quality from the built-in microphones on the AirPod Pro 2 sound like, that's what you're hearing right now. In my testing so far, they work pretty well, and they eliminate outside sounds from getting into my phone call pretty effectively. Right now, some of my kids are playing nearby, and you probably don't hear them, or maybe you do. Let me know down below what you think of this audio quality. I think it sounds pretty good, but I want to hear from you too. Okay, now I want to talk about active noise cancellation on the Apple AirPod Pros, because this is pretty interesting. Apple claims they've increased the ANC by 2 times from the AirPod Pro 1s to the 2s. And I have to say, the ANC on these is really good. However, if I were to compare the ANC from the new AirPod Pro 2s to the older Beats Fit Pros, that's a tough one, because I really like the ANC on the Beats Fit Pros. It's very strong, and the passive noise cancellation from the seal in your ear is much better on the Beats Fit Pros. But there is one major issue with the ANC on the Beats Fit Pros, and it's when you're running or riding a bike, you get this like really loud wind sound in your ears from the wind going past the microphones on the outside of the earbuds. And I noticed on the AirPod Pro 2s, that sound is actually minimized quite a bit. They don't make that rumbly, crazy sound when I'm running on a windy day that the Beats Fit Pros do, and just about every other ANC earbud on the market does. The AirPod Pro 2s manage this really well. I will say it's still there. You still get that rumble in some situations, but it's managed much better on the AirPod Pro 2s than some of the competition. Now let's talk about transparency mode for a minute, because that's where the AirPod Pro 2s really shine. These have the best transparency mode on any earbuds that I've ever tried before, by far. Hands down, these are the best. If you're unaware of what transparency mode is, it uses the microphones on the outside of your earbuds to plumb in audio from your ambient environment to let you know what's going on around you. If someone's talking to you, there's a car driving by, someone's beeping or yelling at you, you'll be able to hear that with transparency mode turned on. The only earbuds that beat the Apple AirPod Pro 2s in terms of transparency mode are going to be the Sony LinkBuds, and the only reason they beat them is because they actually have a hole in the earbud right in the middle of where it mates with your ear in order to hear right through the earbud. So this is the most extreme version of transparency mode, where these do not have a hole going through them, and they sound much better. On top of the fantastic transparency mode on the AirPod Pro 2s, they also have a new adaptive transparency mode, which you can toggle on and off in the settings. This mode will actually reduce really loud, nasty noises around you, so you can hear what people are saying when they're talking to you. It's actually pretty interesting. So I've noticed when I'm running on the road or something and there's traffic going by and I have adaptive transparency mode turned on, it'll actually reduce the sound of cars blowing by me and the wind noise that's all around me, and it'll let me focus in on what I want to hear. Adaptive transparency mode is almost like a hybrid between active noise cancellation and transparency mode by allowing you to hear only the stuff you want to hear. The battery life on the AirPod Pro 2s has been improved as well. You get 6 hours of playback when you use the AirPods. You can put them back in the case and get an additional 30 hours in the case itself. In terms of price, the AirPod Pro 2s come in at $249 here in the USA. That's going to vary wherever you are in the world. And honestly, that's right on par with a lot of the options out there today. Okay, final thoughts on the AirPod Pro 2s after a week of using them from a runner's perspective. Would I recommend these for fitness enthusiasts and runners out there? Well, kinda, with some caution. The AirPod Pro 2s are some of the best earbuds I've ever tried on this channel, and I've got a whole lot of them, as you saw before. They sound great, they package well, they go in your pocket easy. The pairing process with an iPhone is super easy. They've got some unique features like that crazy spatial audio thing that scans your head. The battery is great, and the call quality is also really good from the built-in microphones. But the reason why I say proceed cautiously as a runner when looking at the AirPod Pro 2s is because it's really going to depend on the shape of your ear. Whether or not you can get away wearing this style of AirPod or earbud while you're running and doing fitness things. And this is really tough because if you made me decide between keeping the Beats Fit Pros or the AirPod Pro 2s, I really don't know which one I would keep because I do like running with the Beats Fit Pros a little bit more. They're just a little bit more secure. I don't have to worry about them as much. And especially when I'm trail running and things and my head's really bobbing around, or maybe it's raining a little bit and things are getting really wet and slippery, these are just a lot more secure. However, the overall package with the AirPod Pro 2s just feels like a better value. Even though they cost more money, they do feel like there's more features, the case is better built, there's an IP rating on the case, they fit better in my pocket, the battery life is great. There's just a lot of pros to the AirPod Pro 2. So let me put it like this. If you're looking for an earbud for only running, just running, nothing else, the Beats Fit Pros still have an advantage in that department because the fit is just really solid. However, if you're looking for a pair of earbuds to do it all, you want something to run with, to go to work with, to take meeting calls with, to ride on the bus with, to go in the car for long rides with, to sit at your desk for 8 hours with, the AirPod Pro 2s are hard to beat. These things are just a great overall package, and at $249, I'd say go for them. All right, that's really it for this video. I'm not really good at talking about earbuds, but I tried my best in this video. I hope you found it helpful, and if you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up and subscribing down below, because that really helps me out. Also, if you're planning on getting a pair of AirPod Pro 2s or any of the earbuds I showed off in this video, check out the links down below because they do help support my channel and they cost nothing extra to use, so you might as well use them. That is it for this one. I've been throwing these AirPods around way too much in this video. I can't believe I haven't dropped them yet. And yeah, I think that's it. I hope I didn't miss anything. I'll see you next time. Bye.